Hey, what's up guys? Texas Triple Tapper here. Finally, bringing you guys an update on my SIG P320 X5 Legion. Sorry it's taken me so long. Been traveling quite a bit with COVID. I was up in the Pacific Northwest a little bit longer than I anticipated. I am back home in the great state of Tejas, so wanted to show you guys what had taken place. So most of you guys, you saw the video, you saw the jamming, the way that the casings were jamming up. It was the problem ultimately ended up being the optic. However, the ultimate problem in my opinion was this Norsso vector slide. Okay, so this slide is supposed to be milled specifically for this Trigicon SRO optic. Okay, and when I was running it in the video, when I was shooting outdoors up in Idaho, I was showing you guys how the round was getting caught like right here, and then also in the video the optic sat so far forward that it had just the slightest amount of overhang over here of the ejection port and the breech whenever the round would fire, and it would grab the next casing, but before it would do that it would try to eject this, but it would get caught right here every single time. So it had nothing to do with the compensator. I did remove it, and it still had the same problem with this slide, the Norsso Vector. However, once I got back home and I had the other pieces for it, this is just the stock slide and stock barrel, but what I ended up getting was a plate from Springer Precision, and you can see how far back this optic sits. I mean, it's almost the width of my finger from the breech, from the opening, whereas here, you know, the optic was hanging over. So in my opinion, Norsso did a really shitty job at milling this. They could have added some length to the front or whatever to move this part back a little bit. I mean, we're talking, you know, probably 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch tops. But ultimately, you know, they didn't want to take responsibility. They were the ones that told me that it was probably the compensator, which was absolute horseshit. So I will never ever buy anything from Norsso again. Their customer service sucks, and their products suck because this wasn't milled properly to specification. And even in the SRO Trigicon manual, it warns about not sitting so close to this area. So I talked to a couple of guys over there. Chris, I think he's the owner. I talked to another guy. They're just a bunch of assholes. They totally tried to pass the buck and blame the compensator, which, like I said, was total bullshit. Now that I've got it, you know, mounted on this Springer Precision slide, I have not had one single malfunction. I have some video of me shooting at the range that I'm gonna tag on to the end of this video. The first couple of times, because I had the same spring, and I do believe this slide is a little bit heavier, so there was kind of just like a slight break-in period. What you saw me do a couple times in the video was like the slide would not quite go just all the way into battery, so I would just tap it, whoops, hit the camera, and it would be fine. When I ran the second and third round of ammunition through it, I didn't even have to do that. So that was the most consecutive rounds I ever got out of this pistol since I've had it and put it in this configuration. And I spent, let's see, between this barrel, which will only work with this, with this particular slide, because this is this is a compact slide, so it's a lot smaller. If I can maybe try to get it on here, I mean, you can see that the slide itself ends about here. So the purpose of that being, when you put the compensator on, it ran the full length of the full size slide without having to have the compensator sticking way out. So this, between these two, the barrel and the compensator, were I think $355 from Parker Mountain Machine, and this slide was about between $400 and $500. So you're talking $900 basically that was just absolutely wasted, because it does not work with this particular optic. And again, I specifically asked for this to be milled for this optic. So in my opinion, their milling process or whatever their product ended up being garbage. So stay away from Norsso, guys. If you want something quality, find another supplier. That's just my honest opinion. That's been the biggest headache. I've been dealing with this for months and months and months. I even took this thing, I spent about $150 at the gunsmith for them to try to tighten it up and figure out why the rounds weren't ejecting. They couldn't quite figure it out, but in the end it was this slide, because this optic sits too far forward when it's specifically supposed to be milled for that optic and that optic only. So I know you guys have been inquiring, and again, I'm sorry it's taken me so long to do the update, but as I said, I'm going to tie the shooting footage on the end of this, and so right now I'm extremely happy with this pistol. So what I might do is just try to, you know, sell this combination maybe to somebody who's looking for one, you know, in a different type of setting. So thanks again, guys, for tuning in and for all your questions, and also for all your help. You know, you guys led me to kind of be able to diagnose the problem. So until next time, Texas Triple Tapper out.